do this 2022 scholarship question. It says, consider the triangle ABC with AB 16, AC 12, angle ABC alpha, angle ACB is 2 alpha, and find the exact area of the triangle. So we have a triangle here. We have two angles given to us and two sides given to us. So when two angles and two sides are given, we can use the sine rule. So we will be using sine rule. Let's see where it takes us. So for sine rule, we will do 12 over sine alpha is equals to 16 over sine 2 alpha, right? Now here we've got 2 alpha sine 2 alpha, so we'll have to substitute the value there somehow where we can simplify further. So we will be using an identity, a trig identity, where let's do the simplified version. Sine A plus B is equals to sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. These identities are on the formula sheet, so but you need to know where to use them, right? So here if I do sine A plus A, it will become sine 2A, right? And we have 2 alpha, so we can substitute that there. So it's going to be sine A cos A plus cos A sine A, and it's going to now become 2 sine A cos A, right? So sine 2A is equals to 2 sine A cos A. So we can substitute 2 alpha there. So let's do that. So we will have this is equals to 16 over 2 sine alpha cos alpha. All right. So now if we equate the first and the last, let's see what we get. So we will get 12 over 16 is equals to sine alpha over 2 sine alpha cos alpha. Sine and sine cancel. If we move that 2 to the other side, it's going to be 2 times 12 over 16 is equals to 1 over cos alpha. If we reciprocate both of them, we can get cos alpha is equals to 16 over 24. If you simplify that, you should be able to get 2 over 3. So cos alpha is equals to 2 over 3. Now here, if we go back to the question, it says the exact value, all right? So exact value means make sure that you are not converting into an approximate decimal. So you're not rounding anywhere. You're using the exact numbers that you have got, right? So don't do that mistake. Now, once we have got cos alpha, let's see if we can find sine alpha from there, right? So what we will do is we will create a right angle triangle, right? And we are going to use the SOHCAHTOA, which I'm very sure we all know. All right, so let us suppose that is our alpha. I have cos, so I have adjacent over hypotenuse. That is my adjacent over hypotenuse, 2 over 3. And from here, I can find the opposite using Pythagoras, right? So here, this opposite is equals to square root 3 square minus 2 square is equals to square root 5. So my opposite is square root 5. Right, let's make it. So from here, I can say that sine alpha is equals to opposite over hypotenuse. All right, I have not rounded anything. I'm keeping the exact numbers. All right, so now I have got sine alpha, right? I've got sine alpha. I have got cos alpha. Now we need to find the area. All right, so to find the area, we know that if it is a non-right angle triangle, the area is half times the sides, the two sides, and the included angle, right? So it's going to be 16 times 12 sine of the included angle. So here the angle will be 180 degree, take away 3 alpha, right? And we can write it as pi minus 3 alpha. Cool. So let's use that. Sine pi minus 3 alpha. So this is going to be, you can use your calculator. Half of 16 is 8. 8 times 12 is 96. Sine pi minus 3 alpha. Again, I'm going to use sine a plus. Instead of plus, this is minus. So sine a minus b. And sine a minus b is sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. All right. So if I'm doing sine pi minus 3 alpha, it's going to be sine pi cos 3 alpha minus cos pi sine 3 alpha. So that is going to give me sine pi is 0 times cos 3 alpha is going to give me 0 minus sine cos pi is minus 1 sine 3 alpha. So that's going to give me is equals to sine 3 alpha. So this is going to be equals to 96 sine 3 alpha. All right. Now we do not have the value of 3 alpha. All right. And one very important thing is you cannot multiply this by 3 and get 3 alpha. You cannot. Do not do that. Do not do that. Right? So to find 3 alpha, we will have to use the identity, the a plus b again. So we will use sine a plus b. So here it's going to be sine a plus 2a. All right, so that is going to give us 3a. So a plus b, we know it is sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. So this is going to become sine a cos 2a plus cos a sine 2a. All right, so here now we can convert a's as alphas. All right, so this thing can become, I'll start writing from here, 96 sine alpha cos 2 alpha plus cos alpha sine 2 alphas. Right, so now we'll have to find, we have quite a few values from this. We'll have to find the other values. So let's go back and see which values we have. All right, so we have cos alpha and sine alpha. Let's use a different highlighter. So we have cos alpha as 2 over 3. We have sine alpha as root 5 over 3. We had 2 alpha. Sine 2a, we had sine 2a. We don't have the exact value, but we have the formula that sine 2a is equals to 2 sine a. So that will give us sine 2 alpha is equals to 2 times sine alpha cos alpha, which is 2 times sine alpha is root 5 over 3 times cos alpha is 2 over 3. So that will give us 4 root 5 over 9. Right, so that is sine 2 alpha. We do not have cos 2 alpha here, but we can use a similar identity to get that. Right, so it's 4 9. So let's write here sine 2 alpha, and we have that value as well. So we have got 3 values. We only need cos 2 alpha. All right, so to find that, let's use cos a plus b is equals to cos a cos b plus sine a sine b. All right, so here, So here, oh, it's negative, it's not positive. So when it is a positive for cos, you have a negative sign in between. So here, if we do cos A plus A is equals to cos A minus sine A. It's going to be cos squared A minus sine squared A. Right? Some of you might know this identity straight away. Good if you know it. If you don't know it, you can still use this identity and derive from this identity. All right, so cos 2A here is going to be cos 2 alpha is going to be cos alpha squared. So that was 2 over 3 square. Take away root 5 over 3 square, which is going to be 4 over 9 minus 5 over 9, which is minus 1 over 9. So that is cos 2 alpha. Now we have got all these values. We have got all these values. Now let's substitute these values. So let's start. Is equals to 96. Sine alpha was root 5 over 3. Cos 2 alpha is minus 1 over 9. Plus cos alpha was 2 over 3. And sine 2 alpha was 4 root 5 over 9. 4 root 5 over 9. All right, so now we will have to simplify this. So it's 96 minus root 5 over 27 plus 8 root 5 over 27. Make sure you are not converting into decimals because we need the exact value. So we need the value inserts form. So it's going to be root 5. It's going to give us 7 root 5 over 27. Now 96 times 7 is going to be something. Is 224 root 5 over 27. So 9 times 3, 9 is 27. 3 times 32. 7 times 2 is 14. 1. 7 times 3 is 21. 22. Root 5 over 9. And you cannot simplify it further. So that is your value, and you can write units because they haven't given us that if it is meters, centimeters, or whatever. So that was a very interesting question. I hope it makes sense. Cool. Have a good day.